So, you've got a hotel and they're going to put migrants in it. What do you do with it? Well, burn it down, obviously. Well, that seems to be the case. If you have a quick look at this one here, there we go. This is Galway. And that was a beautiful hotel. And it's gone up in flames. So there won't be any migrants going there. Now, I can't prove, obviously, that it was set fire to. But it does seem incredibly convenient. That's what it looked like before the fire. It does seem incredibly convenient that this place has done fine for years and years and years and years and years. And a day before it was about to house a load of migrants, the fucking thing goes up in flames. Now, I have to say, it's a real shame because as you can see, or you can't see, there we are again. It's a beautiful building, or was. But I can understand people being frustrated and desperate and not wanting people to land in their community. And while I don't condone violence or arson or criminality, this is going to happen more and more. At the end of the day, I despise, make that clear, I fucking hate and despise every single hotel owner who's taken these cunts in. Seriously, you have sold your country out. You are scum. There you go. Made that quite clear. And there is a chain of them. And bearing in mind, there have been some really honourable hotel owners that were almost forced into it and still have resisted. I know through somebody else, one in Glastonbury, and he has a small hotel and he was offered $250,000 for a few months over the winter period to house a load of migrants. So he said, okay, these are migrant asylum seekers, you know, they're fleeing war, okay? It's women, men, women and children. He said, like families. They went, no, it's just men. He said, well, you can fuck yourself. I'm not taking them. End of. And for that, I am eternally grateful to him. And I should think, even though the community in Glastonbury, half of them are off their faith, they're hippies, right? And a lot of left-wing, there are a lot of conservatives there as well. And I would think even deep down, most of those will be glad that these people have missed or dodged a bullet because that hotel owner had the minerals and the foresight to say, no, it's $250,000, but no, I'm not doing that to the community. But for the chains that have done this to the community, bearing in mind, if you ever go back to being a hotel that actually serves the public, most people will boycott you because you're scum. You have helped facilitate the destruction of our society by letting these people into the country. If you hadn't have housed them, and many others hadn't housed them, we couldn't have taken them. If we couldn't have taken them, we could have stopped this problem. Because they couldn't have just brought them into the country and kept them in a fucking field of tents. No, that wouldn't have been allowed. So you let them in, you took the money, because you thought to yourself, either I've got a fucking roughly shitty rundown hotel, which if they destroy it, I know because it's been guaranteed I'll get a refit. Or if you thought trade's a little bit quiet and I plan to make myself a multi-millionaire because of housing these people, then you're a piece of shit. Worse still, if you're one of these chancer Muslim hoteliers or people that buy properties, which is exactly what's happened in this, there's one guy, Muslim guy, who bought a load of rundown hotels, put migrants in them, and is a multi-millionaire because of that. Now, I'm not surprised he did it. I'm not surprised at all. But for the people over here that are indigenous to the country, right, who are taking the money and putting these people up, I fucking detest you. I truly do. And do you know what? I would have no sympathy if this happened to you. While I say I don't condone it, seriously, you have sold your country out. But I do see this happening a lot more. Now, I have to reiterate again and again, I do not condone violence. I do not condone arson. And I would advise everybody not to do this because it is illegal. And on this channel, I cannot condone illegal acts, although I can understand them. There's a difference. However, I see this, I say this happening a lot more, so just be prepared that if you see a nice old hotel that somebody says that somebody's going to put a lot more migrants into, be prepared that somebody might come along of their own free will and decide not to let that happen. And that'll be that. These things happen as people get more and more frustrated and nobody listens to them, and it seems that there's an unstoppable force of evil that is intent on ruining every community in this nation and everybody else's nation at the moment within Europe. People who are at their wits' end will go to extremes to make sure that it doesn't happen. So keep your eye out for hotels that are local to you that are thinking about taking on migrants, and be prepared that Some nutter might come along and set fire to the fucking thing. It's a sorry state of affairs that people would rather, right, rather get rid of a beautiful old building than have a load of migrants in it. But at some point, maybe they've decided that the price is worth paying, given the fact that, yes, it's an old building, yes, it has a lot of history, but what would happen if there were 90, 100, or whatever migrants in said building? What damage would that do to the community, the crime wave, the kids, all sorts of stuff? Because at the moment, the murder rate over in Ireland has gone through the roof, and they're keeping that quiet. And any sort of rape or murder or stuff like that that's going on that is involved with migration, they're literally, it's not a D notice, I don't know what you would call it, but they have put a notice on it. You can't report on this because it might bring civil unrest. Well, what the fuck did you expect was going to happen when these people came over here? And more to the point, every time they go and fuck some kid or beat somebody up or whatever it is, you either don't come down on them very hard or you let them out to do it again. It's almost as if you want it to happen. I personally think you do. So you have to decide now, as a human being and a resident of whatever country you're in Europe, okay, what side of history do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side of evil, the facilitators that let this happen, or do you want to be on the side of good that resists this shit? Choice is yours. Anyway, I shall get on. We've got a bit festive. Daughter came round with mother, put the tree up, and we've got Festive Dave. There you go. I'll put a load more content out. We've got more live streams and some interesting ones coming up. So I will keep busy. I hope you do the same. Anyway, see you in a bit.